Before February ends, I am about to change your story. Yes, you, the one who has been crying in silence, the one who feels forgotten, the one who keeps fighting battles nobody sees. You thought the delay meant denial. You thought the silence meant I left. But I was watching. I was preparing. I was setting the stage. They rejected you. They misunderstood you. They talked about you. They tried to break you. But they could not destroy what I have chosen. You feel the pressure increasing. The attacks feel heavier. The loneliness feels deeper. That is not coincidence. When the enemy senses elevation, he creates intimidation. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not overlooked. You are marked. You are set apart. You are mine. Before this month closes, something will shift. A door will open. A chapter will end. Stay with me. I am not finished with you yet. The rejection you endured was never random. It was revelation. You thought they walked away because you were not enough. You thought the closed doors meant you were unworthy. But listen to me closely. They did not reject you because you were small. They rejected you because you carried something they could not control. You were different from the beginning. You saw deeper. You felt more. You questioned what others accepted. You refused to shrink just to fit inside rooms that were too small for your destiny. And that made them uncomfortable. Your presence exposed what they tried to hide. Your integrity confronted their compromise. Your light irritated the darkness they had grown comfortable living in. So they pushed you out. They mislabeled you. They isolated you. They whispered about you. But what you called rejection was protection. If they had accepted you, they would have diluted you. If they had celebrated you too early, they would have distracted you. If they had embraced you without understanding your assignment, they would have tried to redefine it. I allowed the rejection because your calling is sacred. Chosen one. You were never designed to be common. You were never meant to blend in. You were marked to stand apart. And standing apart often feels like standing alone. I saw every tear you cried when you realized you were no longer invited. I heard every silent prayer when you wondered what was wrong with you. I felt the heaviness in your chest when people you loved misunderstood your heart. But hear me now. There is nothing wrong with you. The discomfort around you was confirmation. Your calling carries weight. Your destiny carries authority. Your spirit carries a frequency that unsettles environments not aligned with where I am taking you. You were too focused, too disciplined, too anointed to stay average. So I separated you, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Because what I am building through you cannot be contaminated by small thinking, jealousy, or fear. The rejection refined you. It deepened your discernment. It strengthened your voice. It forced you to find your identity in me instead of applause. And now, you stand stronger, wiser, less dependent on validation. The same people who could not handle you in your process will one day witness you in your power. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. Do not apologize for the calling that rests on your life. Do not water down the fire I placed inside you. You are not too much. You are appointed. And the very rejection that tried to break your confidence was proof that your destiny is real. They felt it before you did. You are chosen. And nothing, not rejection, not isolation, not misunderstanding, can cancel what I have already ordained for you. You called it loneliness. You called it abandonment, but it was neither. It was me, pulling you aside, closing certain doors, silencing certain voices, removing certain people, not to hurt you, but to prepare you. You felt the shift when conversations grew distant, when invitations stopped coming, when even the ones who once celebrated you no longer understood you. You sat in rooms full of people and still felt alone. You scrolled through your phone and realized there was no one you could truly call. You cried at night wondering why it felt like the world moved on without you. But listen carefully, chosen one. Isolation is not abandonment when I am the one who orchestrates it. I had to separate you from noise so you could hear my direction. I had to separate you from dependency so you could discover your authority. I had to separate you from comfort so you could step into calling. What you lost was familiar. What I am building is eternal. If I had allowed you to remain surrounded, you would have been distracted. If I had allowed constant validation, you would have mistaken applause for purpose. If I had kept everyone close, you would have leaned on them instead of leaning into me. So I drew you into a wilderness season, not to destroy you, but to develop you. In the quiet, I strengthened your discernment. In the silence, I sharpened your vision. In the loneliness, I healed parts of you that applause had been masking. You learned to sit with yourself. You learned to face your fears. You learned to pray without performance. You learned to trust me when no one else clapped for you. That is preparation. Isolation stripped away the need to be understood. It stripped away the need to be chosen by people. It stripped away the addiction to fitting in. And what remained? Your true identity. There are levels of destiny that cannot be entered with a crowd. There are assignments that require clarity. There are elevations that demand separation. You were not being excluded. You were being refined. While others were distracted, you were being disciplined. While others were entertained, you were being equipped. While others were networking, you were being anointed. I know it hurt. I know the silence felt heavy. I know you questioned your worth. I know you wondered if you had done something wrong. But you did nothing wrong. You were simply outgrowing environments that could not hold your next dimension. Separation always feels like loss before it reveals itself as protection. The loneliness you survived built resilience. The quiet you endured built focus. The distance you experienced built strength. And now you stand different, less needy, more discerning, more aware of my voice. The isolation was not a punishment. It was a private training ground. Because where I am taking you, you will not need a crowd to confirm you. You will walk in knowing. And when the time comes to step forward, you will understand why I pulled you back. You were never abandoned. You were being prepared for something greater than you imagined. The attacks did not intensify because you were losing. They intensified because you are getting closer. Closer to what I promised you. Closer to what I placed inside your spirit before you were even aware of it. Closer to the life shift you have been praying and crying for in secret. You thought the pressure meant defeat, but I am telling you the truth that your emotions tried to hide from you. Pressure often increases right before expansion. You have felt it lately, haven't you? The anxiety waking you up at night, the sudden conflicts that seem to appear out of nowhere, the misunderstandings that keep repeating, the spiritual heaviness that feels heavier than before. You are not imagining it. When destiny starts moving toward manifestation, resistance becomes louder. The enemy does not attack what is already defeated. He attacks what is about to rise. And you have been feeling the weight of something shifting in the unseen world around you. You cannot fully explain it. You just feel like your life is standing at a threshold. That is because you are. You are standing at the edge of your next chapter. And every attack you survived was meant to make you doubt whether you were strong enough to step forward. But I have been watching how you fought when you were tired. I saw how you kept believing when nothing around you gave you evidence to hold on to. I saw how you kept praying even when your prayers felt like they were bouncing back to you in silence. Chosen one, listen to me carefully. Your breakthrough is not coming because life suddenly becomes easy. Your breakthrough is coming because you did not quit under pressure. There were moments when you almost gave up. Moments when you asked if your destiny was even real. Moments when you felt like the warfare was too personal, too targeted, too overwhelming. That is because your calling is not ordinary. The attacks became strategic because your destiny is strategic. You are not just fighting for yourself. You are fighting for generations that will be influenced by what I am about to do through you. That is why everything felt heavier. That is why certain relationships became chaotic. That is why fear tried to speak louder than hope. Because the closer you get to breakthrough, the more desperate darkness becomes to stop you from believing it is possible. But I placed something inside you that cannot be destroyed. You have resilience you have not even fully discovered yet. You have strength that reveals itself only under pressure. You have faith that grows louder when life tries to silence it. So when things started falling apart around you, do not interpret that as loss. Sometimes things fall apart because I am clearing space for what is about to arrive. You are not at the end of your story. You are at the moment before the miracle becomes visible. Stay standing, stay believing, stay expecting. Because the intensity of the battle is not proof that you are losing. It is proof that your breakthrough is getting closer than you ever imagined. What tried to break you was never stronger than what I placed inside you. I allowed you to face it so you could finally see who you really are. There were moments when you felt like you were falling apart. Moments when you thought your emotions would shatter completely. Moments when the weight of betrayal, disappointment, fear, and disappointment all came crashing at once. You did not imagine that pain. It was real. But so was the strength I placed in you before you ever walked into that season. You thought those experiences were sent to destroy you. But I am telling you something deeper, something your tears have been trying to teach you. What tried to break you was actually trying to reveal you. You have strength inside you that you did not inherit from comfort. You developed it in battles. You developed it in nights when you had to convince yourself to keep breathing through emotional pain. You developed it when you kept moving forward, even when your heart felt heavy inside your chest. I saw you when you were quiet in your suffering. I saw you when you smiled in public but collapsed emotionally in private. I saw how you kept showing up even when you felt invisible. That was not weakness pretending to be strength. That was strength learning how to survive in environments that were trying to suppress it. The situations that hurt you were designed to expose endurance you did not know you possessed. Because chosen ones are not only made in celebration, they are forged in fire. They are built in places where nobody is watching. They are strengthened in places where no applause exists. There were people who expected you to break. They watched to see if you would give up. They waited for you to become bitter, angry, or spiritually disconnected. But you did something powerful. You kept your heart soft even after being hurt. You kept believing in love even after betrayal. You kept praying even when you were disappointed. That is not weakness. That is spiritual strength in its purest form. What tried to break you actually activated something inside you that fear could not control. You learned boundaries. You learned discernment. You learned how to stand when others tried to push you down emotionally and spiritually. You are stronger now than you were before the battles began. Not because life became easier, but because your spirit became stronger. You survived things that were meant to silence you. You survived things that were meant to make you doubt your purpose. You survived things that were meant to convince you that you were not chosen. But you are still here, and that is not coincidence. The same strength that carried you through your darkest moments is the strength I am going to use to carry you into your greatest victories. So do not look at your scars with shame. Look at them as evidence. Evidence that you were strong enough to survive what was meant to destroy you. Evidence that you carry something inside you that cannot be erased. You are not broken. You are proven. The silence you feared was never absence. It was strategy. You thought I stopped speaking because I stopped caring. You thought I stopped moving because you stopped seeing results. You thought the quiet seasons meant I had forgotten your prayers, your dreams, and the promises I placed inside your heart. But listen to me carefully, chosen one. I do my greatest work in silence. You remember when life was loud, when everyone had opinions about you, when attention followed you in ways you did not ask for, when people felt comfortable speaking over your life, predicting your future, defining who you were supposed to become. Then suddenly everything became quiet. Friendships became distant, opportunities slowed down. Even the voices that once surrounded you seemed to fade. And you felt fear begin to whisper inside your thoughts. Have I been forgotten? Did I miss my season? Did I do something wrong? No. You were just being moved into position. Elevation is not always loud. Sometimes elevation looks like isolation. Sometimes elevation looks like waiting when you want to move. Sometimes elevation looks like sitting in silence while I prepare doors you cannot see yet. You wanted progress to feel visible, but I wanted your growth to be invisible first. Because what I am building through you cannot be sustained by public excitement alone. It must be built on spiritual depth, emotional maturity, and unwavering faith. The silence was protecting your next level from distractions. It was protecting your purpose from premature exposure. It was protecting your heart from people who would celebrate you in public but doubt you in private. You did not understand it at the time. You kept looking for signs that I was still working, You kept searching for confirmation. You kept hoping that one message, one opportunity, one breakthrough would suddenly appear. But I was working beneath the surface of your life, behind closed doors, in unseen conversations, in places where human logic could not trace my movements. You felt like nothing was happening. But I was repositioning your destiny. The silence forced you to depend on my voice instead of human approval. It forced you to trust my timing instead of social validation. It forced you to grow spiritually stronger than emotionally dependent. Chosen one, elevation requires preparation of character before celebration of achievement. Because when I elevate you, I do not want you to collapse under attention. I want you to stand steady under responsibility. The silence you feared was actually me removing noise, so you could hear your assignment clearly. And soon, very soon, that silence will break, not with chaos, but with opportunity. Not with confusion, but with clarity. Not with fear, but with purpose becoming visible. You will look back and understand why I made you wait. You will understand why I kept you hidden for a season. Because what I am about to do in your life will not be a small blessing. It will be an elevation that proves I never left you in the silence. Every tear you cried in secret, I saw it. Not just the tears people noticed. Not just the tears you wiped away quickly, so no one would ask questions, but the tears that fell in the darkness of your room when nobody was watching. The tears that mixed with your prayers when you thought I was silent. The tears you swallowed because you did not want to worry the people you loved. I collected every single one of them. Not one tear was wasted. Not one moment of your pain was ignored. Not one silent cry escaped my attention. You thought you were crying alone. You thought your suffering was hidden from heaven. You thought I was too busy blessing others to notice how quietly you were breaking inside. But I have been closer to you in your pain than you ever realized. I saw how strong you tried to be for others while feeling weak inside. I saw how you kept showing up in life even when your heart was heavy. I saw how you smiled in public while carrying emotional storms in private. You are stronger than you think. Not because you never felt pain, but because you kept moving forward while carrying it. Every tear you shed carried a message to heaven. Each tear said you were still believing. Each tear said you were still hoping. Each tear said you were still choosing faith even when life tried to teach you fear. Chosen one, I did not ignore your suffering. Heaven is not deaf to silent prayers. There were nights when you lay in bed wondering if your prayers were reaching me. There were mornings when you woke up feeling emotionally exhausted before the day even started. There were moments when you felt like giving up on everything because life felt heavier than you could explain. But I was there, sitting beside your broken moments, holding the weight you were never meant to carry alone, storing every tear like a sacred promise that your story was not finished. Your pain was not punishment. Your pain was not abandonment. Your pain was preparation for compassion, strength, and destiny. Because the person I am shaping you into will carry authority that understands suffering, not just success. Heaven is responding to what you endured in silence. You are about to see joy that feels heavier than your sorrow ever felt. You are about to see restoration that feels deeper than your heartbreak ever was. You are about to experience blessings that will make you realize why you had to survive what you survived. I did not forget you when you felt forgotten. I did not walk away when you felt alone. I was working through your tears, building strength, building character, building destiny. And now I am gathering what you lost. I am restoring what was taken. I am answering prayers you stopped praying because you thought I was not listening. Your tears were never wasted. They were seeds. And soon you will see what I grow from everything you cried for in secret. Before you ever felt the first attack, I had already marked you. Before the battles started, before the rejection, before the misunderstandings, before the loneliness that made you question your worth, you were already chosen. You did not become special because you survived. You survived because you were already marked for something greater than what tried to destroy you. There was a moment, long before you understood life, when I placed purpose inside your spirit. Not when you were strong. Not when you had everything figured out. Not when people were cheering for you. But in the quiet beginning of your story. I designed you with intention. I crafted your emotions, your thinking, your compassion, your resilience with destiny in mind. You were not randomly placed in your family. You were not randomly placed in your generation. You were not randomly placed in the struggles you faced growing up. Everything had meaning. Even the battles you thought were accidents were actually preparation grounds for your calling. You have wondered why life sometimes felt harder for you than for others. Why you felt things more deeply. Why you could see truth where others saw comfort. Why you could not fully belong to environments that felt spiritually or emotionally shallow. That was not a flaw. That was your marking showing. Chosen ones are often marked by sensitivity to purpose. They cannot ignore injustice easily. They cannot live comfortably in environments that do not align with their calling. And that is why you felt different. Not rejected, not misplaced, set apart. Before you ever spoke your first words of faith, I was already writing your destiny story. Before the enemy tried to attack your confidence, I had already placed protection around your calling. Before you experienced spiritual warfare, I had already equipped you with endurance you did not know you possessed. The battles were never random. They were recognition tests. Life was testing whether you would still believe in me when circumstances did not look promising. Whether you would still stand when people misunderstood you. Whether you would still carry hope when your environment tried to teach you despair, and you kept standing. Even when you felt tired, even when you felt invisible, even when you wondered if your life had real significance. But listen carefully now. You were marked for purpose before you ever knew what purpose was. That marking cannot be erased by rejection. It cannot be removed by failure. It cannot be destroyed by mistakes you have made along the way. Destiny is stronger than your past. Calling is stronger than your pain. There is something about your life that still carries my signature. And soon, people will begin to notice what I placed on you long before the battle started. They will not just see your success. They will feel the authority of the purpose you were born to carry. Because you were never random. You were marked. And what I mark, no battle can unwrite. What I am about to release in your life will silence every voice that doubted you. Not with revenge, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with destiny fulfilled so loudly that doubt itself will have no place to stand in your story anymore. I know the voices you heard, the voices that said you were moving too slowly, the voices that said you were dreaming too big, the voices that said you would never become what you kept believing for in your heart. Some of those voices were spoken directly to you. Some were whispered behind your back. Some were not spoken at all. They were felt in the way people treated you, looked at you, underestimated you. I saw how those voices tried to shrink your confidence. I saw how you kept fighting to believe in yourself when nobody else did. I saw how you kept showing up, even when you felt like the world had already written you off. But I did not write you off. And now I am preparing to speak through your life in ways that will not require you to defend yourself anymore. You will not have to argue with your success. You will not have to explain your elevation. You will not have to convince people that I am moving in your life. Because what I am about to release will speak for itself. There were moments when you felt stuck in invisible battles. You kept praying for change. You kept hoping for breakthrough. You kept believing even when nothing around you changed fast enough to satisfy your heart. But I was not delaying your blessing. I was making sure that when I release it, it cannot be questioned. You will walk into rooms where people once doubted you, and they will feel the difference in your presence. Not because you became arrogant, but because you became spiritually and emotionally grounded in who I created you to be. Your story is about to become evidence that I do not forget my chosen ones. Those who doubted you will watch what I do next in your life. Not because I want you to feel superior, but because I want your life to become testimony, not argument. The blessings coming toward you will carry weight. Financial doors, spiritual clarity, emotional restoration, opportunities that feel tailor-made for your calling. And when people see it, they will remember how they spoke about you when you were still in preparation. But you will not respond with anger. You will respond with grace. You will respond with humility. You will respond with quiet confidence that comes from knowing I have been with you all along. The season of being misunderstood is ending. The season of being overlooked is ending. What I am releasing in your life will make it impossible for doubt to have authority over your story anymore, because your victory will not just be visible. It will be undeniable. Listen to me carefully now, because what you are beginning to feel inside your spirit is not coincidence. You are starting to realize something powerful. Your pain had purpose, not random pain, not meaningless suffering, not suffering that I ignored while you were crying in silence. Purpose-shaped pain. There were moments when you thought I was absent. Moments when you wondered why certain doors closed so painfully. Moments when you questioned why you had to go through experiences that seemed to break pieces of your heart open. But I was not absent. I was working in ways you could not see yet. I was protecting you from versions of your future that were not ready for the destiny I placed inside you. I was guarding your spirit from environments that would have slowly dimmed your calling. I was preserving your heart so you would not become bitter in the places where I need you to carry compassion and authority together. Every tear you cried was not wasted. Every betrayal you survived was not random. Every disappointment you endured was part of preparation that you did not understand at the time. Because I was not just saving you from something. I was preparing you for something greater. You were being trained in silence. Strength was being built in your character when nobody was clapping. Faith was being forged when you had to keep believing without evidence. There were nights when you felt like you were fighting battles you did not even choose. But those battles were shaping your spiritual endurance. They were activating courage you did not know you possessed. They were teaching you how to stand when circumstances tried to teach you to collapse. And look at you now. You are still here, still believing, still hoping, still carrying something inside you that fear could not destroy. That is not survival alone. That is destiny activation beginning to happen inside your spirit. You are starting to outgrow old versions of yourself. You are starting to feel purpose rising louder than pain. You are starting to notice that what once broke you is now building confidence inside you. That is what preparation feels like. Not always comfortable, not always peaceful, but always intentional. I have been protecting you in ways you could not trace. Stopping you from stepping into certain situations that would have cost you your calling. Redirecting your steps when you thought you were just making mistakes. You called it confusion. I called it guidance. You called it delay. I called it divine timing. And now something is beginning to awaken inside you. Destiny is becoming louder than doubt. Hope is becoming stronger than fear. Purpose is rising above pain. You are not becoming someone new. You are becoming who I designed you to be all along. And what is coming next will make you realize your pain was not the end of your story. It was only the beginning of your purpose being revealed. So hear me now, my chosen one. The battle is not where your story ends. Stand up in your spirit. Lift your head even if your eyes are still wet. Because everything you survived was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to reveal you. I never left you in the storm. I never left you in the silence. I never left you when your strength felt small and your heart felt heavy. I was there in every tear, in every prayer you whispered when you thought no one was listening. Victory is already breathing in your future. Hope is already walking toward you. Your destiny is still intact, still alive, still waiting for you to step forward. So rise again. Walk forward again, believe again. Because what I placed inside you cannot be taken away. You are chosen, you are protected, and your story is far from over.